What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you a beginner's guide series video. This one we are talking about gearing up as a new player. This one actually comes up a lot in comment sections to other videos, and we might do like an advanced one or intermediate one kind of after that. But we're basically going to cover like what gear to shoot for when you're just starting out, what to work on, what the goals are, and then kind of what your progression should be like. I guess you could call it gear progression guide for beginners. There we go. Anyway, so let's start out just looking at like when your character first starts, some of the armor you want to look at getting. Honestly, when you're first playing the game, you really don't need to buy anything. Just pick up kind of whatever drops until you get in the around 40s or into the 50s. The game does a pretty decent job at giving you stuff. Certain areas you grind will drop some gear in general for you that can be pretty useful for you. It's not super relevant. You can by all means get something that you're slowly going to enhance over time and just kind of stick with it. A lot of people like to go with the Gruntle set just from the AP bonuses, little HP. On top of it, you can use the Heave set as well, which is these guys here, because you get the HP along as well as getting the weight bonuses on those two. So you have some options. The other two not used super much. A little bit open what kind of green gear you want to start with, but at any rate, the game's going to give you some quest items and things like that. It's definitely going to give you quest weapons that you won't need to start upgrading until you get around the level 50 mark or so. So anyways, let's go ahead and point to that. Something else I am going to jump aside with, this video we're going to assume you know how to enhance, and if you don't, I did do a guide for enhancing for beginners, which is available on my channel if you need to check that out as well. I don't want to cover that in this video also, or it would make it a super long video and be slightly redundant with the enhancing. So if you are looking for the enhancing portion of it, check out the enhancement guide, beginner's guide that we have as well. So anyways, personally when I do it, I go for Gruntle. Depending on your class, you might want to go with a little something else. Like I said, the Hercules set and Heave set, whatever it is pretty useful as well while grinding, since you get that weight bonus. So as you're going through the quest, let's say you get your level 50 and you can get yourself a Gruntle set. What you're going to want to do with this from here is go ahead and get it enhanced up to about Pry, or you could even push it to Duo. Obviously not immediately, that's something you're going to work on over time, but that's the rate you want to get with that armor before you start pushing for boss gear. Okay, and that's speaking about your armor sets. As far as your accessories, you want the Xula accessory set in general. Again, I have we're not going to cover where to get each of those. I do have a guide. I'll link to that in the description below if you need to check out how to get your Xula set. They did also give out a free set of Xula just recently in the Ranger event setup. So if you did pre-create a Ranger, whatever it was, then you got a full set of free Xula just recently. So that will definitely help you out, save you some time if you didn't already have that set. If you did and it's already on one of your other alts, ship it over and then go from there. So that would be what your accessory setup is going to be. Then you get your gear going, get it to Pry-ish, Duo if you really want to push it from there, and that's the point where you're going to start working on boss gear. Okay, once you get this set up to Pry or Duo, whatever your cutoff is. A lot of people like Duo just because that's the progression you get to before you start losing. Once you go for Try, you can go back to Duo. The argument can also be made it's not worth going Duo. You can just do Pry and you're going to do just as fine at any grind spot there while you're working on getting your boss gear and then your Xula accessories. So let's say you have your Xula set already ready to go. You got your Gruntle or whatever your favorite set of green gear was. You're up to Pry now. You're live and kicking. You're wondering, what should I be doing with my weapons? Well, great question. Most classes, this varies a little bit based on class. Most classes tend to like the Rosar weapons in general, which are these guys here. And again, you can get this guy up to like Pry, maybe Duo or so there, and hold your spot until you are ready for your boss weapon, or you at least get your boss weapon enhanced. As far as your awakening weapon, this is kind of a split thought on some of these instances. Personally, I like this guy here, the green one. I like to get this one. When you do your awakening quests, you're going to get this item at plus 15 to start with, I believe it is, or plus 10, sorry, to start with right out of the box. And then you can enhance this. I like it because it gives you the extra species damage. So you're going to get extra damage to the mobs that you're fighting versus the player damage that you get on the other one, or human damage, I should say. Reasoning for that, you're not really going to be doing a ton of PvPing at this point. You're still trying to build up boss gear. You're still trying to work your way up in your gear. These are just kind of placeholders. So I really like getting the green because you're getting the extra monster damage. Yes, it's a little bit less sheet AP than the blue weapon is, but it's a whole heck of a lot cheaper to repair. Or excuse me, to enhance. And then as far as repairing it, when you are enhancing it for durability, you can actually purchase these green weapons from the arms dealer in Alta Nova right over here. So that makes it a whole lot more accessible than getting the blue stuff. The blue stuff is going to be a lot costlier trying to buy it off the marketplace, which unless you're playing Archer right now, you should be able to buy as many as you need, but it does get very expensive, and in my opinion, you don't really need. So here you go, green. 4 DKs right there. You can purchase these as needed to repair. Doing the blues, again, it's just a placeholder. You're not really sticking with this gear for any length of time once you get your Dandelion being the ultimate goal. To be fair, the blue weapon is not that far off of Dandelion in a little bit, but every little bit's going to count, especially when you start getting up there. So I really personally always go with the green Awakening myself. If you want to use blue, by all means do it, but in my guide, I'm telling you, go with the green, get the species damage up. You're not going to notice grinding difference there, and if you're fighting players, you're going to get melted at this point in the game anyhow. So again, Pry Duo here, that's fine. Alternatively, on your main hand weapon, if you can do the main storyline quests up to the point where you get a Black Abyssal weapon, so you can straight up just follow the quests up to Medea area, and the Black Spirit will give it to you. That weapon is something along the lines of, I think it's close to a Duo green weapon as is, or something very close to that. It might be Pry or Duo, and they've recently added an Awakening one as well, the Kadam, I believe it's called, for Awakening. That is the same thing in storyline quest, so you could follow that along as well if you want to get that. Personally, I don't really wait on it. I go Rosar, I grab me a green Awakening once I get my Awakening quest done, and then I just kind of rock and roll with that, and then go wherever I want to go from there until I get boss gear. Sub weapons, this is going to be more class specific. Different classes use different things. I know a lot of people like the straight up AP on steel daggers for classes that use daggers. And then it was back and forth for a little while as they were changing things for DK specifically. I think the thing nowadays is just the AP straight up Oros. Sayer's always been an option along with it because you do have the accuracy depending on what you're working at. But this is going to kind of be a preference, but same idea that we've been along with anything else. The offhand, you could go to plus 15 and kind of leave it if you want to save the sharps. It's not super important for the offhand to go up, but again, you could follow the same rule of thumb we've been on pretty much anything. Pry, maybe Duo. You'll see some people going Try. That's fine if you feel lucky or you want to build stacks or you're doing something along those lines. Not a big deal, and that goes for your armor as well. Not a huge deal if you want to do that. That's kind of up to you. It's just keep in mind you could lose some progression as far as with your fails. In all likelihood, you will lose some progression for fails. And again, it being just placeholder gear, for now, we're not super concerned about what you want to do from there. So the next step from there is to start hunting your boss gear. So you're going to be hunting world bosses. You want to pick up your boss armor, weapons, and stuff. If you get the choice, sorry, I just did a Kadri grind for an hour there. If you get the choice, you obviously want to get your weapons before your armors, but it's not necessarily going to be up to you every single time. Sniping some of these things, especially like Uragan's boots, is very difficult, so don't feel bad if you get the opportunity to snipe or Night Vendor a pair of Uragan boots and you don't have your Dandelion or your Zarka yet, because any piece you can get, Dimtree the same way, any piece you can get, super important to get. The exception I'll say to that is your Beg's gloves are very easy to get. That's one of the most common pieces that goes up, so maybe don't put so much emphasis on the Begs before your weapons. But again, you can use your own discretion here. You really can't go wrong. The point is to get your boss gear. So once you get your boss gear set up, you got your Dandy. If you're doing Kudum or Nuver, when you're just starting out, I really recommend starting with Kudum, and then later on maybe move over to Nuver. If you have both, congrats. You'll eventually need both. One's PvE, one's PvP, and it's pretty simple as that. I just recommend the Kudum early on because it's going to give you access to better grind speeds than the Nuver would. Overall, Nuver is just going to be straight AP and lacking the monster damage that's increased with it. So I would really recommend that for grinding while you're still gearing up. Again, you can't really go wrong if you do enhance and Nuver and run with that. Your stopping points once you get your boss gear, so you've set it up. So maybe you got everything. I initially would say get everything, same idea. Pry, Duo, wherever it's comfortable, replace your current stuff. Once you have everything up to Duo, now's the point where you want to start pushing into Try. And I would work on it one piece at a time. I'm not a big fan of rouletting things at all, and it's a bad habit to get into. It's fun for some people, but it's not fun when you fail and you just make a huge negative step in progression. It's not really recommended. So at this point, you're Asula accessories. You just started to get your boss gear. You've replaced out your Stepping Stone Gruntle gear, whatever you wanted to use. So now you want to get each piece to Try. So you're going to start with your Dandelion first. The weapon's going to go first. Go Dandy, then Zarka, and then your offhand. Get each of those pieces to Try and focus on them one at a time. So get all your materials together, sit down in one session, and again, check out the enhancement video. I'll link to that below if you need help with how to enhance these things from there, because I cover it very specifically for these items. But sit down and just do work on getting your Dandelion to Try. Once you have that thing at Try, leave it alone, move to your Zarka, then move to your Nuver. Then as far as armor, the general rule of thumb is usually to work counterclockwise. So you'd go gloves, Dimtree, or armor, helmet, and then shoes. You really can kind of do this however you want. I would recommend the gloves first, just because you get the accuracy. It's not going to make a huge difference, because getting them to try in the grand scheme of things, it initially, when you're first doing it, it seems super daunting and like it's a terrible thing to do. But after you've done it and you start working on Tet pieces, you really think that try is just super, super, super easy. So you begin working on that, get your pieces up. Once you get them all to try, now it's time to decide what are we going to do with our accessories. You have two options here. You can see I don't quite have soft cap accessories myself. We've been working on that on stream. It's been an ongoing struggle. So from here, with your Asula set, you have two options. You have the option to either do stepping stone pieces, something like try Mark of Shadow, try Witch Earrings, you can see I have a try Blue Coral and a Tet Blue Coral. You can try and pick up things like this, just grinding some money, maybe get those. You can enhance. Mark of Shadows have dropped in price drastically lately. You can enhance or try Mark of Shadow yourself if you really wanted to, for not too expensive. Try and snipe one. They're like, I forget, 100, and they're less than 200 mil, or something along those lines. So they're really, really cheap. Even a Tet Mark of Shadow, which is only 1 AP off of a Tri Crescent Ring, which is soft cap gear, is only 375. So I know I keep using the term soft cap as far as what that is. That's Tet weapons and armor, and Tri gold accessories. So Tri Bazzi belt, Tri Ogre ring, not Syrup, Tri Crescent rings, and then Tri Tungrad earrings, or the equivalent AP Tet witches, something along those lines. I'll work with it. So anyways, going back to where this is a decision making, you can either stick with your Asulas and then work on straight up soft cap gear. Just go straight for the ones I listed. Try Bazzi, try Ogre, try Crescent, try Tungrad earrings. Go straight for that and just devote all your money into doing that. Once you're trying to go accessories, or what I personally did, although I'm not sure if I do it again, do some stepping stone gear. Things like a duo Tri Syrups, for a point, Tri Spirit Belt or something like that. Try Witches or try Blue Corals, Tet Blue Corals, try Mark of Shadows, just to hold the space. The reason for that is it's going to give you more AP, so you have a little bit more access to some better grinding spots, a little higher area that you can grind with, and that's actually a good point to get while you have your Tri boss weapons and armor. Then get some stepping stone accessories, get out of the Asula, get a little bit better AP so you can grind a little bit more efficiently, make a little bit more money, and then start working on tetting your weapons. And then of course from there you get how this pattern goes. So you would get your stepping stone accessories, then work on tetting each of your weapons in the same order, then work on tetting each of your gear in the same order, and then at that point you're ready to start working on your final soft cap accessories. Once you reach there, congratulations, you're at soft cap, so you've made it, and you're months and months and months into the game, because as you can see, I'm still a little bit short of that myself, and something that we're working on. So just to recap from all of it, if you didn't get that, you go with your Gruntle or equivalent gear, enhance that up to Pry-ish, Pry Duo. You're going to get your placeholder weapons for it with Asula accessories, so get yourself a Green Awakening, Rosar or something close to it, main hand, and whatever offhand best suits your class or your playstyle. Full AP if you want, go for it. Set those up. Then you're going to slowly start farming your boss gear, whether you snipe it, night vendor it, get it off the boss, however you do it. Get all your boss gear built up. Get each of that piece to try. From there, make your decision on your accessories, get those placeholder accessories, so those are enhanced up, and then push all of your boss gear into the Tet territory, and then you start working on your soft cap accessories, and boom, you're a soft cap player. Obviously it sounds much easier to do in a 10-ish minute video, but a little bit harder to do in practice. But anyways, so the question that was asked a lot, so I just want to make sure we covered that. I wanted to do a life skilling beginner's guide thing, or at least intro to it, but this one just keeps coming up a whole lot, especially during live streams, so I thought this might be helpful. So yeah, if you have any other questions about it or recommendations for other beginner's guide that we do once a week, feel free to drop that in the comments. Be sure to like the video if this helped you out a little bit. I am going to steer a lot of people from stream that ask questions to this video specifically, since that is a very common question of how do I gear up. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So we do beginner series once a week. We do live streams on the weekends. We do some drunk enhancing streams, and then other guides and just some news updates and things during the week. So pretty neat channel if I do say so myself. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.